Hello and welcome to Zero Cool Gaming in today's hardware review. Today we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to start with why I'm recording when I'm recording. When I started this business, it was literally winter. And as a result, I could record pretty much whenever I wanted to. Now that it's summer, the only time that I can record is either is from late night, from like 10 o'clock to early morning. And early morning can be as late as like 8. So I still have like a 12-hour period easily that I could record it. And I need to start utilizing that time and adjusting my schedule, and truly I should just keep it to a evening schedule and record in the evenings. Mid-afternoon recording is not possible in the summer. It's just too hot. Okay. So, what are we going to be reviewing today? Today we're going to be reviewing uninterruptible power supplies. Now, this is something that I've used for 15 plus years, and I have an interesting history with. You see, a long time ago I used to use these power strips, and I had nice ones. Monster power strips is what I used to use, actually. The package would say on there, oh, we'll protect your devices and we have insurance and blah, 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 blah. It's all lies. Don't believe any of it. The reality is that when something happens that's going to destroy your electronics, they're not going to cover any of it. Period. That's the reality. I'm sure if you were a business and you had, pictures and you could show the dates of when it was, installed and how it was used and blah, 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 blah. Maybe. I wouldn't even bet on it then. But as a home user, you have no protection. Period. And what happened to me, as well as all of my neighbors, is we had a lightning strike, and it was literally within like 2 blocks of my house, and it hit the power grid. It hit the actual power lines, and I would say everyone's electronics, for the most part, within like 3 blocks of either direction of where that lightning struck, everybody lost their electronics that night. And I know this because everybody was throwing them away the next morning. Or the next, over the next week. You understand what I'm saying? Except for one guy. There was one guy on my street that wasn't throwing anything away. And I saw him outside one day, and I walked right up and decided I was going to talk to him about that. Because I wanted to know how he had protected his electronics. And I'm talking about like your basic stuff, like your TVs, your VCRs, this type of stuff. And he explained it to me. Of course, I didn't know what he was talking about, so he invited me in and showed me his surge protector. Well, his surge protector was not a surge protector like I had, because I had monster surge protectors. His surge protector was more like this bad boy. It was a backup battery. An uninterruptible power supply. Now there is surge protection on it as well, yes, but truly what I use these for today is not really the backup battery. Well, it is, but this is a surge protector that will actually protect your systems. Truly. When I started years ago with these things, I bought stuff like these Cyber Powers or an APC or a Trip Light, the mid range. And they weren't cheap. They're, $200 to $400. And after about 5 years, the batteries would go out. And I say batteries because there was at least two of them in these things. So I would replace the battery. The problem with that is that while the second battery is in here, the electronics to the unit go out. So then you're throwing away a battery that's half used because your electronics no longer function. Or you could buy another unit exactly like this and then, have the batteries from this one sit there and wait until the new battery, yeah. Anyway, you get what I'm going at with this. So I tried a more expensive setup to see if that would solve my problem. So I got a Belkin, and I think I paid like $600 for this thing. Same thing. After about 5 years, the batteries went out. Replaced the batteries. Now the batteries in this one did last through a second set of batteries, but when I bought the third set of batteries for this, the electronics went out. So what do I do today? Well, I don't buy the mid-grade. I don't buy the high-end. And in fact, I don't buy as large of ones as I used to. When I first started buying these things, I'd buy 1500 VA backup power supplies. Today, I have 4 of these 800 VA, and they are Amazon Basics. They're literally the cheapest things that I could get. I have 3 of them in use. I have one connected to my main computer. I have one connected to my backup computer. And then I have one that actually both my retro PCs connect to. Then I have another one that I'm not even using that is just sitting there as a backup. In case one of these go out, I have a backup to replace it with right there, ready to go. And then I have these little 400 VA, and I have 5 of these, 4 of them in use, and I use these for my monitors, my consoles, and I have HDMI switches, and I have converters, and those are also plugged into these little guys. Again, like I said, I got 4 of them in use, but I own 5. The 5th is a backup that's just sitting there waiting to replace one of these little things when they stop functioning. And when one stops functioning, of course, I'll switch them out, and then I'll buy another one, another little one or a big one or whatever it is. But today I use literally the cheapest ones that I can get. And when the batteries go, I just toss it and get another one. It seems to work better that way. And it actually seems to be working out a little cheaper that way. So, that's my rant for the day. And I hope you enjoy the rest of yours.